What's up, guys? Welcome back to Trend or Trap, the show where we take profitable betting systems from the TrendsCenter app and put them to the ultimate test. Every episode, our debaters decide, is it a trend worth backing or a trap you should avoid? The results, well, those are settled on the court later tonight. I'm Dan Karpuc, and we've got a heavyweight matchup for episode 4. Kate Constable of Westwood One Sports is riding high with a perfect 2-0 record, but standing in her way today, Nick Ashooh of 106.7 The Fan, also heard on Westwood One and Game Day Garage. 3 games, 3 systems from the TrendsCenter app, 2 college hoops matchups, 1 NBA showdown. Let's get right into it with debate number 1. And obviously we're going to start with some Mid-East Conference Norfolk State, Morgan State college hoops, as you probably predicted here. The under has hit at a 61.62% win rate when 2 unranked teams have played on Mondays, with a total between 149.5 and 174 over the last 19 years. Tonight's total in the Norfolk State Morgan State game sits at 154.5. So the question is simple: is this a trend and under 154.5 is the best bet, or is the over the sharp side, making this system a trap? Kate, you're undefeated. Let's start with you.
I mean, why would we not start with a Morgan State, Norfolk State game, right? I mean, doesn't get any better than that, but this is a trap, Dan. I don't like this trend. I'm going to take the over here. Morgan State's defense, 355 out of 356 teams in college basketball. In other words, it's really not good at all. It's also the worst team in all of college basketball at sending teams to the free throw line. That always leads to some extra points with the clock stop. Both of these teams are great at getting to the foul line, first and second in their conference at, getting to the foul line, free throws attempted. And then both are decent offensive rebounding teams. I mean, if someone can get hot on the offensive boards, maybe that builds the score up a little bit. On the season as well, if we look at the over-under numbers, Norfolk State is 16-9. Morgan State 14-10 to the over. Combined in their last 10 games, these two teams are 16-4 to the over. So I'm going to say this is a trap and go with the over on this game today.
First off, as someone that has spent many a year in Norfolk, or Norfolk, as a lot of people like to say it, I'll make sure that I say it right for all of the people in that area. First off, this is my first time on the show, and you give me a game like this, so I got to dig deep, because let me tell you how many seconds I've watched of both of these teams, but that's not the point. We're looking at the numbers here, and I actually like this as a trend, and here's why. I think there could be an under in this. You mentioned a lot of things that make you lean towards the over, Kate, and I get you there. First half over, and the total's gone to 16 the last 20 games. We've hit that there just for Norfolk State alone. But there is this thing, and it's scary, but we've all fallen into this before, the do factor. And this game, with all of the things that make you lean towards the over, I love the under in this, specifically for that. One, you get numbers that are obviously inflated because the books know just as much as we do. All of these different trends that we've seen. The team total for Norfolk State has gone over in 14 of their last 20, and you could go down the list of all these. Trust me, I got a huge list right in front of me, but I actually do like the under in this game with a bit of an inflated number. And just the fact that, yes, it might be my gut, it might be my heart saying it just a little bit, but that do factor just feels like it's ripe right now to hit at that moment. So give me a trend on this. I like the under.
All right, I love that. Let's go right to the NBA hardwood, though. Let's get serious now. And favorites of 15-plus points in non-conference games have hit at a 60.74% clip over the last 30 years, so pretty solid system there. Tonight, the Houston Rockets are 15.5-point favorites in Washington and therefore meet the criteria. Is laying the big number a trend, or is this a potential backdoor trap? Nick, you're up first, and this is another team that you're right close to, right?
Oh, give me the Wizards plus 14.5, guys. Let me tell you something. Again, this kind of leans into a little bit of a similar scenario here where so many things are pointing one direction. We've all been down these roads where you see a game where every trend, every stat, every recent bit of history for either one of the teams in any one of these games, it all leans one direction, which just makes you scared. It makes you concerned. Here's the thing about the Wizards that a lot of people don't realize. The Wizards are a scrappy team that we know is trying to lose basketball games, but it's not the players on the court that are trying to lose. It's the front office, and it's really the coaching staff that understands we're going to sit some guys out. We went on a little bit of a winning streak. Now they've lost 4 straight, and you're sitting here going, okay, this makes perfect sense for the Rockets to blow them out. keep in mind, even with some of the guys like Alex Saru's not going to be playing, Will Riley's averaging 15 points a game over his last 5. Tristan Vucevic, this will make you happy, Dan Karpuc. You are a big fan of Vooch. Jameer Watkins also, another guy that's really come up and gotten some solid minutes for them. My point here is that you have other guys that are farther down the depth chart on this really young Wizards team that see this as opportunities, that are going to give just that little bit of extra effort knowing they're going to get some extra minutes. And because of that, it's enough to where the Wizards can just cut into that spread enough and can cover in this game.
Nick, I was close to siding with you because the Wizards have been a pretty good covering team lately, but I'm going to say that this number that Dan threw out, that stat, that's a trend here, and I'm going to take the Rockets to cover. Rockets, a significantly better team over their last 5 games. 5th in the league in offensive rating, 8th in defensive rating. So despite coming off a loss to the Miami Heat the other night, they are still playing fairly well. And I actually like the fact that they lost to the Heat the other night because this is the final game of a 3-game road trip for the Houston Rockets. And typically, if you've won your first 2 and all of a sudden you meet the Wizards for your final game of a road trip when you're ready to get back home, you're probably going to mail it in. And that would lead to the Wizards likely covering here. But I don't think that happens for this Rockets team because of that recent loss. So I'm going to say this is a trend, and I'm going to take the Rockets to cover the big number on the road and get back into the win column in a very dramatic way before heading home.
I love that. And by the way, this is one of TrendsCenter's verified trends today. So if you blindly bet 1 unit on all of our verified trends, you'd be up over 18 units over the last 4 months. That's just one of the many perks of being a premium subscriber. So you could sign up right now and use code EPISODE4, that's EPISODE and the number 4, to get a free day that's exclusive to listeners or viewers of this podcast, and check out the platform for yourself, including all of today's verified plays inside the TrendsCenter app. Now let's finish strong. This is probably the game of the night here, the final debate when 2 teams, both winning 75% or more of their games, have met over the last 18 seasons with a spread larger than 5.5. The favorite in college hoops has covered at a 61.09% clip tonight. That points to Arizona minus 7.5 against Iowa State. Is this a trend to lay it with Arizona or a trap to grab Iowa State? Kate, back to you.
This is a trap. I think you have to grab Iowa State right now. This is one of those classic buy low, sell high spots. You're selling high on Arizona after their big win the other day over Kansas, and you're buying low on Iowa State after their home loss to Texas Tech. The Cyclones defense we know is very good, number 2 in the Big Ten in forcing turnovers, so limiting the number of possessions that Arizona could likely have tonight, and number 3 at limiting opponents' trips to the free throw line. So Arizona likely not to get too many freebies at the line. The other reason I like Iowa State in this one is because Arizona is very likely locked into a number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament, but Iowa State can move back with another loss here tonight. So their future, their tournament, seeding kind of could fluctuate based on tonight's outcome. And so I think we see a very competitive game. Even though Iowa State's on the road, I like them with the points tonight against Arizona, Nick.
Yeah, I see this as a trend, actually. I'm laying the points with Arizona. That's a pressure-oriented defense that Arizona's bringing to the table. It's a hostile environment that Iowa State's got to get into. And quite frankly, if you're looking at this as a whole, too, if Iowa State's not knocking down shots early, you got to play more in the half court. That's going to favor Arizona a lot more in the way that they defend, and really the fact that you're going to have to deal with that hostile environment, like I mentioned, with Iowa State as well. So I think that suffocating defensive pressure is going to be something that really benefits Arizona here, so I'm laying the points with them.
3 debates, 3 systems, 1 scoreboard. Will Kate stay perfect and move to 3-0, or does Nick come in and hand her first loss of the
Nick,
season?
you're the rookie here. This is your first time.
I know. So I think it's only right that I be given the right points here, so I want to come back again, because if I don't win, I'm not coming back, Dan. I'm just like,
That's fair.
We got to see what we can do then. I mean, drop your picks in the comments. Trend or trap for each matchup, and we'll see who is right when the games close tonight. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out the TrendsCenter app, and again, use episode 4 for your free day. Those are exclusive to you, the listener. That's all you need to do. Episode 4, grab your free day. For Kate Constable and Nick Ashooh, I'm Dan Karpuc. We'll see you next time on Trend or Trap.